Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Colton, and in today's video, I'll be talking about best practices for purchasing a Digicam. So if you're not sure what a Digicam is, I do have a video that outlines an overview of Digicams, but essentially these are cameras from the late 90s through the early 2000s. One of the key components of a Digicam is its CCD sensor, which offers better colors and a more film-like quality to the images. So if you're interested in purchasing a Digicam, the first step I would suggest is determining what type of Digicam you're interested in. Do you want more of a point and shoot style that you can use for more candids, shots of friends, and is much more pocketable? Or would you like a little bit higher end DSLR style Digicam that might have an interchangeable lens and overall higher quality to the images? Now, the first place I would suggest looking for a Digicam is at your parents' house, your relatives, your friends. A lot of people do have these cameras laying around, and they will probably be more than willing to just hand it over to you at no cost. Now, if you are out of luck for finding one through a relative or a friend, then you can also search through garage sales, estate sales, thrift stores. These are great places to find Digicams at a super cheap price and to be able to test them out in person. You can also turn to places like Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, where you're likely to still get a pretty good deal and maybe also still have the opportunity to try it out in person. Another really great resource would be eBay or sites like Depop. You'll probably pay a bit more for the cameras via this method, but you're also going to have a lot more inventory and selection to choose from, and you're more likely to have cameras that are guaranteed more or less to be working, that have at least been tested and verified to be functioning when they're being sold. You will also have pictures and more information about the cameras, and possibly even a return policy where if you don't like the camera, you have some method of being able to return it and get your money back. So those can be good methods as well. Now, when you're actually purchasing a Digicam, there are a few things that you want to verify. The most important is, does the camera even work? So whether you're trying it out in person or shopping online, verify that the camera is functioning, that the different functions, as best as you can tell, work. The shutter releases, it takes a picture, the LCD displays the picture, the flash functions, all of that good stuff. Just mess around with the camera, or if you're buying online, verify in the description that it works and ask the seller any questions that you might have for clarity about its function. Now, with that in mind, when we're actually purchasing the Digicam, there are a couple things we want to verify before we hit that purchase button. The first is that it comes with the battery and charger. A lot of times we get caught up in picking out a camera and we don't really pay attention to whether the battery and charger are included. If they're not pictured, I would definitely ask the seller if the battery and charger are included. If you're buying in person, make sure you can physically get a hold of them, because some of these cameras use very specific batteries that might not be available for purchase anymore. And even if the batteries are available for purchase, it's not a great surprise to find out that you don't have the charger and now you have to spend another $10 to $30 to get the charger. So verifying that ahead of time will save you a bit of stress later on. Now, to that note, we also need to verify what type of storage media it uses. We kind of take for granted in today's world, because we use SD cards for basically every single camera that's manufactured these days. But back in the day, in the late 90s and early 2000s, there wasn't really a standard card yet. And so a lot of different manufacturers were producing their own versions of media cards. So you have things like compact flash, XD picture cards, Sony memory sticks. You even have floppy disks that are being used in some cameras back in the day. So verifying ahead of time the type of media that it uses will save you any unhappy surprises. And also, some of these storage media are pretty rare, and so the price for them can get kind of high. As an example, I purchased a camera for somewhere around $30, and I forgot to check that it had a memory card, and I found out that it used a very rare kind of memory card that on eBay was going for upwards of $200. And so I had the sweat hit my face of, oh my God, I am potentially going to be turning this $30 camera into a $230 camera. Not a fun experience. Now, luckily I was able to find one for way cheaper and salvage that little project. But that just goes to show you definitely want to verify ahead of time that the media is included, and if not, what type of media does it use for storage. Now, just as a side note, as far as megapixels go, it doesn't really matter what the megapixel count is, but if you want something that will have a little bit higher resolution, my recommendation would be to pick something somewhere between 5 and 10 megapixels. That way it's still something you can use for maybe small pictures or anything like that. But in general, if it's less than that or if it's more than that, not a big deal. It's a Digicam. It's sort of obsolete technology anyway. So to wrap up, in conclusion, when we're looking for Digicams, whether they're a more pocketable point and shoot style or a full-on DSLR style, we want to make sure a couple things. Number one, and most important, that it works, that the flash fires, the shutter fires, the LCD displays images, all that good stuff. We also want to make sure the battery and charger are included and that they work. And we also want to make sure that the storage media is included, or if not, at the very least, that we know what type of storage media that the camera takes. Now, keep in mind, patience is a virtue, and that is definitely the case with Digicams. There are new cameras popping up online all the time, so if you don't see what you're looking for, or if the prices are too high, sometimes waiting a little bit or checking other websites will allow you to find what you're looking for at a much better price. And also, these cameras are meant to be fun, so don't let it stress you out. Find a Digicam, start shooting, and enjoy photography again. Now, if you're interested in either one of these cameras, I do have videos that I'll put at the end of this video where you can check out reviews on both of these. For now though, if you like the content, please hit the like button. And if you want to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button. It really does help out the channel. I'm Colton, and I'll see you in the next one.